How often do you think the average happy couple should be having sex? Once a week, once a day, or 3 times a month? Actually, it's none of them. It would be so much easier if there were a strict rule about how often you should be having sex in order to be happy, like 10,000 steps, 5 portions of fruit and veg, and sex 3 times a week, please. Unfortunately, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unlike your step count and how much fruit you should eat, any recommended frequency of sex is just made up. We don't know, and it doesn't matter. Any sex therapist worth their salt will tell you that there's no such thing as a healthy amount of sex. There is only how much sex you and your partner want to have. And despite all the magazines out there trying to, we're not going to be telling you how many times a week or month or year is average. In this case, average doesn't mean anything. A statement like the typical American has sex X times a month doesn't tell us why that typical American is having sex or whether they enjoy it. It could be completely transcendent or just kind of underwhelming. If you're having sex once every 6 months and it's fantastic and you love it and you and your partner are completely satisfied with it, then that's what's right for you. If you're having sex 7 days a week, but you're not that into it, then maybe there's something to think about. It seems absolutely logical to think that having more sex will make you happier, but it's not necessarily true. There are a few studies that indicate that a certain amount of sex in a relationship is linked with individual happiness and relationship well being. And of course, that specific amount, very unhelpfully, varies from study to study and doesn't take into account the fact that there are plenty of couples who are perfectly happy having no sex at all. Because at the end of the day, it's just about your relationship with sex and with each other. But what these studies are also unable to pin down is this: does more sex make you happier? Or do happy people just have more sex? And if you're sitting there thinking, I just want to know a number, why won't you tell me one? You're not alone. We're all tempted to compare ourselves to other people. What we want is reassurance. We want to know that we're just like everybody else, or ideally, that we're better than everybody else. Because there's nothing worse than thinking we're the only person in the world with our problem. Feeling like we're the odd one out, broken and isolated, can create a lot of shame. So it's entirely understandable that when faced with a problem like this, we would want to learn what's going on for other people so that we can know that we're not alone. The thing is, when we ask questions like, how much sex should I be having? What we're really asking is my relationship working? Am I happy? Is my partner happy? Are we both happy with the sex that we are having? And these are questions that no one else can answer for you. If you're still stuck with this, here are some things to bear in mind. There's no such thing as normal. This can be quite a relief to realize. Throughout our whole lives, culture, social media, teachers, colleagues, friends, and family will make us feel like there's a normal way of doing things that we should be striving to achieve. And this cultural pressure is particularly present when it comes to sex. Just like in other areas of life, learning what other people do is not the same thing as learning what we personally want from sex and the meaning sex has for us. Sex is a movable feast, and you don't have to eat your broccoli if you don't want to. What is typical, healthy, or pleasurable for you will continually shift. Sex is both a psychological and a physical activity. So, as your body and mind change and evolve throughout your life, sex will too. That means how much sex you want, what kind of sex you want, how you feel about sex in general, and how much sex you're physically able to have. These go up and down and sideways, changing over the years, during the month, or even at different times throughout the day. And then on top of all this, your partner's mind and body will be changing too. And it's very unlikely that your changes will be exactly in sync. Learning what you want and what feels good for you is something that will constantly evolve and refresh throughout your life. When transitions happen and something changes, we all have to relearn how we feel about sex, whether that's physically, emotionally, or otherwise. Focusing on what other people are doing and whether that's what you should be doing will only take you away from this project of working out who you are and what you need, and will probably lead to you not being very nice to yourself in the process. So, the next time you find yourself worried about how often you and your partner are having sex, just Try to remember that there's no such thing as a normal or healthy frequency of sex. It's about finding what works for you and your partner, and that your sex life will naturally shift and change over the course of your relationship and throughout your life.